Hi, this is Lindsay, one of the co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Baxter Colburn, host of Verse of the Day here on Public House Media. Thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with that episode, I hope you'll come and check out my show, where I take one Bible verse every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I provide practical examples of what it can be in your life. We have guest speakers that join the program every Wednesday, and there's always something new to learn about your walk with Christ. You can stay up to date with Verse of the Day by subscribing on Apple Podcasts or on publichousemedia.org. Thanks again for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Your Life Matters podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Mariah White, and I am so excited you're here. I seriously am just so overwhelmed, so blessed, and so grateful to just meet with each and every single one of you every single Tuesday. I'm getting so many messages and so many people reaching out and so many emails just saying, hey, thank you for impacting me, or thank you for helping me overcome barriers, or thank you for giving me courage. And guys, I just want to say wholeheartedly, I am so grateful that I could give you that. And I truly just thank you for listening to my story, listening to my heart, because the way that I'm able to teach and give you guys tangible things to lean on is just through life experiences and how I've grown and how I've learned and personal development and what I truly wanted this podcast to be about. This podcast truly is a motivational podcast that provides you a hope and a dream that is going to fuel your soul to dream big and to dream bold and to empower and inspire you to live out your wildest dreams, and then grab a hold onto the unwavering truth that you were made for more. So, guys, I just want to dive in deep. I want to dig in deep. I am so excited, so blessed, so grateful. And I'm sitting here and I was thinking about what messages I wanted to convey. And we are still in the nitty-gritty of January, and people are still pushing and people are still wanting to grow. But I thought to myself, what am I struggling with? What can I help people with? And not too long ago on my social media, and if you don't follow me, I encourage you to find me at Mariah Karen White on Facebook or Dr. Fit White on Instagram. And I just pour my soul out. I share my story, and I just encourage you guys, if you are on social media, follow me. Make sure that if you are listening to this podcast, snap a picture on your story and tag me, because I would love to feature you on my story. But I was really thinking about this, and I was, for the last couple of days, just really struggling with something that I had dealt with 3 years ago. I read this book called Mastering Your Inner Mean Girl by Melissa Ambrosini. It was incredible, and that was the book that changed the game for me, because I needed to shift my mind. And I know I've talked about it before. If you guys are devoted listeners, you've heard me talk about this book and how it has changed my thinking, because I used to have my mean girl on blast, and then I shut it off. I learned how to unmute it, or I learned how to mute it. And then guess what? When life happens, especially with, I swear to goodness, all these pregnancy hormones running through my body, somehow, some way, I let her unmute herself and she crept back in. And today's podcast is how you communicate with yourself affects your happiness. And I want you guys to have a beautiful life. I want you guys to know what it means to live a full and fulfilling life. And so many times we think that it's not about the communication. It is what we seek and what we go after. That is what's going to bring us joy. Guys, whether you are seeking a relationship, whether you are seeking to fix a relationship, whether you are seeking a home, more money, wealth, growth in your business, success in your career, whatever tangible things you are seeking, it's not that I don't want you to seek it, but I want you to know that most of the time that is not going to, 99.9% of the time, that is not going to lead to happiness. And what I mean by that is, will you have momentary happiness when you succeed at something? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. I know that our team had a huge goal in the year 2018 that we get recognized for an entire year, but that was momentary success, because now it's like, okay, what next? And there's always the what next. So whether it's a relationship that you are like, okay, what's next? Now, is it marriage? Is it this? Is it kids? Is it a house? Like, you're always seeking what's next. What is it in my career? I advanced my degree. What's next? What can I do? You always have this sense of what is next. So then you can't believe for 1 second that you can seek happiness in anything other than you. Let me say that again. You can't seek happiness in other things, outside things, external things, and expect it to bring you joy and keep you in a state of joy, keep you in this beautiful state. It's all about how we communicate with ourselves that is going to bring you joy. Guys, everything can bring you joy, can bring you gratefulness, can bring you appreciation, but it also can bring you sadness, heartache, unhappiness. Those are the things that if you let other external things dictate your internal setting, you will always be shifted by something externally. And that was something that I had to really understand, because I stand here in this place where I am now 7 months pregnant, and I am a big person about control. I try to control the things. And I think as achievers, and those of you who are listening, that I think that you listening to this, you are an achiever. That's what I'm calling you. So my achievers in this room listening to this podcast, we try to control all events in our life. And then when we can't control it, we get upset. But we love to control everything, but you just can't. But what you can control is the meaning behind something. So what I mean by all of this is how you communicate to yourself, how you convey appreciation about situations is what's going to bring you joy. It's not the actual thing that's going to bring you joy. Have you ever thought about a person who has gone through strife and sexual abuse and assault and domestic violence and homelessness and bankruptcy, and how they literally look at life and they're like, no, life is beautiful. Like, I overcame this. This is a situation that grew me, and I have a beautiful life. And then you have someone who has everything, who has been given everything, who has been blessed and gifted with everything, who has wealth beyond his wildest belief, and yet somehow, some way, they're still unhappy. It's the external things that you can't grab happiness from, but it's the internal things that you can learn from and find meaning in. So find the meaning in the gift of what you've been giving. I can sit there and say, I have found meaning in being homeless. I have found meaning in sexual abuse. I have found meaning in domestic violence. I have found meaning in strife and hardship. I have found meaning in being kicked out at such a young age. I have found meaning in that, and I see that as a place of a beautiful life that has given me so much love and appreciation and value, because I have found that in myself. When I look at those things, I communicate how I feel. And what I say to myself is, Mariah, God placed you in this situation because he knew that he needed to grow you. So you grow through what you go through. And that has always been my motto in things that I've overcome. And I communicate how I feel about those situations, where now I understand that an extraordinary relationship is all that I want. I want an extraordinary marriage. I want an extraordinary life. And I want to have so much love that it's literally like oozing out of my body. I have learned that through what I previously went through, but I created the communication field to myself of, Mariah, you are loved. You are worthy, you are needed, you are wanted, and you are more than enough. That came in the midst of a very difficult divorce. And it's something that I sit with, and I'm like, there is so much beauty in those statements. And there's so much belief in knowing that I am strong enough to get through anything. And that's where I found meaning. That's where I found the blessing. Nothing in this life has meaning unless you find the meaning and give it meaning. Nothing in life has meaning unless you find the meaning and give it meaning. And I know what you guys are thinking. It's like, man, Mariah, I've gone through some hard stuff, like whether it's cancer, whether it's a relationship that was broken, whether it's infidelity, whatever it is, find meaning and a blessing and a gift in it. Because guess what? Yes, you had cancer, but guess what? You no longer do. Or yes, you have cancer, but you're fighting it and you have support. And every single day you are seeing the beauty in what God has granted us here on this earth. And I'm not trying to downplay what you're going through. I feel the hurt, sister. I feel what you're going through or what you went through. But I'm trying to give you tangible things on how you communicate to yourself and how you can find happiness. Because the key to life is if you master how you feel towards yourself, you will master life itself. I know that truly and wholeheartedly, because when I sit there and I am in a place where I am feeling amazing about my business and my career and about my baby girl and all of these things, I sit there and I'm like, these are external things that are making me happy. And at the moment one external thing shifts, I'm not happy anymore. And I realize that more now with all these emotions, that if I continue to allow external things to shift where I'm feeling, they shift my emotion, they shift how I feel, they shift how I communicate to myself. So I am really struggling with when certain things happen, I feel rejected or I feel abandoned. And that goes back to so many other things. And I work through that on a daily basis. And I know I've shared that with you guys in, overcoming depression and suicide and growing pains. But those are my two things. And I remember talking to you guys about that after I went to the Tony Robbins seminar, is rejection and abandonment is one of my trigger points. So whenever I feel rejection or abandonment from any external thing, it shifts my internal feeling. And that's powerful, guys. That's powerful for me to say, because what is shifting? Your internal feeling that is coming completely from external things. So I am here to help you change the meaning behind it. I'm here to help you understand that when you have situations in your life, look at it. I look at this situation where I'm like, man, I didn't plan this pregnancy. I had to make a very difficult decision in the very beginning, and I made the right decision, the best decision that I could have ever made. And it is something that out of everything in the world, I am most proud of that decision and belief in that value and moral that I had. And I believe it wholeheartedly that this baby girl is going to completely change my life. And I hold on to that, and I found meaning that everything happens for a reason. God has planted me here on this earth and has planted her here with me for me to be her mother for a reason. And the reason I believe that is because everything happens and you can find meaning in everything. So when I sit there and I say, man, why did this happen? God, why did you let this happen? Then I say, well, Mariah, there's meaning behind it. What truth can you find in this situation that gives such meaning and beauty? And then I say, I've always wanted to be a mom. I've wanted to be surrounded by something and be more fulfilled and love on somebody wholeheartedly with all my heart. Like, I have so much love oozing out from me on a daily basis that I just am so excited that I get to do that to this little girl who's mine. And I find meaning and blessing in that. So for me personally, when I think about this situation that I'm in, I think about the beauty in that, or I think about, hey, I went into preterm labor. Why, God, did you let that happen? I was so terrified, but guess what? I got through it, and I leaned on him in the understanding. And then I sat there and I said, there's meaning behind that. It meant, Mariah, you guys know I hate these next couple words. Slow down, rest, listen to your body, and know that your body is not your own. Your body is creating a miracle right now, and I need you to simmer down and let the miracle happen before you lose the miracle. And that was the biggest thing, because you don't realize what you have until it's almost taken away from you. So guys, in your situation, whether you're going through the hardest thing in your life or you're going through a season that just seems like it's not ending, you have to remember that you can grow through what you go through, and you never know what you have until it's gone. You never know the meaning behind something until it's no longer there. So for me, I'm here to just encourage you to ask the right questions. How Instead of saying, how could God do this to me? Shift it and say, how can this be a blessing? How can I use this? How can I grow through this? And how can I find meaning in what I'm going through? And then communicate the beauty to yourself. I think about communicating, Mariah, you are doing the most beautiful thing in the world that some women just wish and pray and beg to be able to do. You are growing a tiny human, and that is incredible. And you are beautiful doing it. I communicate to myself that I am so worthy, and in this life, I know I will have an extraordinary relationship, and I will be completely loved, and we will grow together and be in a place where I am just like so fulfilled, and that person is so fulfilled, and it will just be incredible. I know that I communicate to myself that I am worthy, and that my value is not placed in other people, but my value is found in Christ and Christ alone, because I'm a child of God. I think about the fact that I know that I'm enough. It doesn't matter the external things of family or abandonment or anything. I know that I am enough in the situation that I'm in because of all of you guys. And because God gave me that decision 3 years ago, whether to keep living or to give up. And I chose to keep living. And now I'm on a mission to help you guys use your second chance. Every day is a second chance. Every single day that you wake up is a second chance. I used to think that 3 years ago I got a second chance. It was a golden ticket for sure. It was a second chance. But every single day is a second chance to wake up and to go after your dreams and believe. So guys, I leave you with this last thing. Communicate how you feel and what you say to yourself, and you will find the key, and you will master life itself. Because when you are in this beautiful state of, yes, this is a hard season, but I'm growing through it and I'm finding so much meaning and beauty behind it, that's when the game changes, because then external things can't shift you. You can't feel rejection and abandonment and completely go into a downside. You can't feel hurt and unappreciation and go into a downside. You'll just sit there and be like, you know what? These are external things. My job's not doing what it needs to be. My career's not where I want it to be. My business is not where I want it to be. My relationship's not where I want it to be. But guess what? I'm growing, and I'm communicating the things that are happening and what I'm going through, and it's going to grow me. But I'm going to find beauty in it. So guys, I hope that you take away the fact that how you communicate to yourself and how you master your thinking on a situation can really change your life. And just ask the right questions. Shift your mindset to how can I use this and how can I find meaning? Because remember, nothing in life has meaning unless the meaning you give it. So seek that. Know that and believe that. All right, guys. It was such a blessing hanging out with you this Tuesday and just pouring my heart into you. I hope it was helpful. I hope you do that homework. I hope you shift your mindset this week. And then I will see you back next Tuesday for another episode of Your Life Matters.